All right, welcome to the instructional video covering the Catapult simulation assignment. So I'm going to keep the PowerPoint in this format so I can click between the PowerPoint and the other documents as part of the simulation. This is the PowerPoint that will be available in Blackboard, along with the log sheet in Excel that you'll enter settings and landings, and then some monetary information, along with the actual simulation spreadsheet, which we'll get into in a minute. But first, let's talk about what this actually is. All right, so it's a Catapult simulation. So we're going to simulate having a company contract, government contract, and we have to deliver a catapult shot and land a ball at 70 inches plus or minus 2 inches. That's our goal. That's our target. Our production cost is $500 per shot. So it costs us money whether we meet the target or not, right? That's real world. Whether you make a good part or a bad part, you have to pay your overhead, right? So there's production costs involved. Here's what the catapults look like if you were in the face-to-face class, or if you've taken some of them before. This is the catapult we're using. And on this curved section here is a scale. It's how far you pull it back. The greater the number you pull it back to, the further the ball flies, right? And it hits the pin, and that's like the stop, and it launches, right? So the arrow helps us with the repeatability, and the scale helps us find the right angle. So we're essentially playing live Angry Birds, or in your case, simulated Angry Birds. Maybe I should build an app for this. Get the IT students on that. But we're launching it, and we need to land it at a certain spot. And there's some variables that are causing us some troubles, right? So these are the factors we're kind of considering. There's movement of the catapult on the table, right? Error reading the drop distance, like how are we measuring that? Error determining the release point, experience of the shooter, and take my word for it, when they do it in class, there is some experience built up to this, and the stability of the table, right? There's all this variation in our process, and we need to remove variables in order to make a better product. So by where it lands, we get paid accordingly. So here's the info sheet you're going to be using. All right, here's the info sheet you're going to be using. I had to update that a little bit. So you get paid. So it's plus or minus 2 inches. That's what you're getting paid for. But we get paid for great accuracy. So if you get it plus or minus an inch, the payment is $2,000. And then from that 71 to 72 or 69 down to 68, you get $1,500. From 72 to 73 and 67 to 68, you get nothing. Outside of the specifications, below 67 or above 73, you get penalized $1,500. Now on top of that, remember each shot costs you $500. So really, this costs you $2,000, and this profit is $1,500. So with 30 shots and a max profit of $1,500 per shot, you can make up to $45,000 per trial. And then so you'll have, there's 4 trials. There's a baseline and 3 trials, which gives you 120 data points. You have 120 settings and 120 measurements. Then here's what you need to do with it. So you have to calculate a few things. So you're going to take 30 shots, record the setting and the distance on the Catapult worksheet. That's this bad boy. And then for the baseline and each trial, you need to determine this. So you need to create these items for each trial. That's the financial performance, your profit or your loss from the worksheet. Calculate your percent defective and your percent yield. Remember, defective is anything outside the 68 to 72 window. Create a time series plot of the distance attained for each shot and graph that in Minitab. Create a histogram with CP, CPK, standard deviation, and calculate the X-bar plus or minus 3 sigma. And also graph that in Minitab. And overall, what does the data tell you? Look at it. What are you learning from it? What is it telling you? And save this Minitab worksheet or project for future use. Whether to go back to or if I have a question on the assignment, because Blackboard does not like Minitab. So you need to copy and paste your graphs out of Minitab and into a Word doc preferably. Create one massive Word doc full of graphs and charts and information and upload that to Blackboard. All right, so one more. So here's the Catapult worksheet. So you're going to enter a setting, a landing measurement, which the worksheet will give you, your production cost, then how much you got, right? So you didn't get paid, but you didn't get penalized, so it cost you $500. Here you didn't get paid, but you got penalized, cost you $2,000. Here you made some money, but it cost you $500. You made $1,500. You're going to do that for 30 shots. That's on this worksheet. You're going to enter a setting and the landing measurement, then figure out the amount paid, amount penalized, and your profit or loss. And then at the bottom, you can total it, your profit or your loss from those 30 shots. Now, here's the trick question, is how do you get this landing measurement? Well, that's where this beautiful spreadsheet comes in. Right, so I have this lock, so you can only change the numbers in the yellow boxes. Base setting, trial 1, trial 2, trial 3. Right, so what it's determining is baseline is the process as is. That's what we currently have. In trial 1, we're going to remove a variable. We're going to remove the catapult moving around. So we're going to clamp it to the table. Trial 2, we're going to add on top of that some operator experience and some training, create consistent releases, reading the scale, less measuring variation. And then trial 3, we're going to stabilize the table to prevent even more variation. So again, here's the information you need to calculate, and then comment on the observations. Right, so how does this work? The yellow boxes, when you're doing the base setting one, you're going to enter a number into the yellow box, 155, and get a number. You're only going to look at this number. I'm pointing to the screen like an idiot. You're only going to read this base distance. Yes, all these numbers changed. Only read this one. So record 155, 8655. Enter your second one. Right, we're trying to get to 70, so let's back it off a little bit. 140. Oh, see, if you put in a number that's too far out, it'll give you a blank. Obviously, 1,100 inches is too much, so let's go 145. 77. 144. 86. 143. 61. Right, so you're going to enter 30 of them in base and record those on a worksheet. There's your landing measurement. And then you have those 30. Go back in here, do the same thing with trial 1. Enter a setting, get a measurement. Only read this measurement. Yes, these are changing. Don't worry about that. It's a very complicated spreadsheet. Enter another one. Another one. Trying to see where it kind of maxes out there. 180. Right? So sometimes you'll get a blank and just reshoot. Pick a different number. You're going to do that for each of them. And it's a random number generator that's designed to give you tighter specifications as you increase or as you remove variables, as you increase your capability. So that's how this spreadsheet works. Enter the data on here, and then you can copy and paste this right into Minitab to create some really nice looking graphs. And then copy and paste those into a Word document and send it off in Blackboard for grading. So it'll have a lot of graphs, some time series plots, right? Histogram, CPK, standard deviation, percent defective in yield, and the financial performance. And then some analysis on your part. Again, don't send the Minitab file. I won't be able to read it. It won't open in Blackboard. Any questions, please feel free to email me. Thanks.